With Turning Point, Sasha Waybright's redemption arc has finally officially kicked off. However, her journey to redemption actually started long before this episode. Today I want to talk about her villain arc, and how it cleverly, simultaneously sets up her redemption arc. What made her journey feel so satisfying and compelling? Let's find out. Before I begin though, I'd really appreciate it if you guys could consider subscribing. It ensures that you don't miss out on any new Amphibia theories or breakdowns, and lets YouTube know I exist. Also be sure to check out my Twitter, Discord and Patreon in the description. Now back to the video. Sasha's first appearance in Prison Break establishes who her character is. We're shown that she's manipulative and calculating, using kindness as a way to get what she wants. However, we also see a surprisingly genuine side of Sash. We're shown that she deeply cares about her friends and wants to protect them, promising to leave with them and even stroking their photo. We're both shown that she's capable of becoming a villain, as well as capable of redeeming herself. Reunion, on the other hand, sets up the themes of her villain arc. We learn that she was very controlling back on Earth, and that she used to treat Anne more like a minion than a friend. She continues to take control when she meets back up with Anne, but in the end, Anne finally stands up to her. She gives her actions consequences. Sasha's desire to control everyone is the driving force of her villain arc, and finally learning that her actions have consequences is what she needs in order to realise that she has to change her ways.
Anne, Marcy, please be alright.
This episode also sets up the idea that Sasha's aware that something needs to change, but for some reason she doesn't want to change, as she goes on to state in the episode The Dinner. When she lets go of Anne, she states that maybe Anne will be better off without her, and it says a lot that she'd rather die than change for the better. Amphibia is a show all about change, and Sasha's refusal to change is the entire point of her arc. The next episode we see her is Toadcatcher. This episode doesn't really significantly expand upon any of the existing themes that have been introduced, besides maybe highlighting Sasha's refusal to face the consequences of her actions, and not admitting that she's sad that she might have lost Anne as a friend. However, the episode introduces her friendship with Grime, and it's through this bond that Sasha learns how to be a good friend even away from Anne. We then see her in Barrel's Warhammer. This episode sees Sasha bring Grime, Braddock and Percy along on a very dangerous venture for the titular Barrel's Warhammer. The episode starts off by showing us Sasha's nice side, as she promises to turn back if things get too much for Percy and Braddock. And of course, inevitably it does get too much for them, but Sasha, blinded by her goal, doesn't listen to them. Usually in a kids show, the main character eventually realises that they've gone too far and learns their lesson. I really love that the episode doesn't shy away in showing the audience the full extent of her toxicity. The episode also isn't afraid to end on a low note, with Percy and Braddock having enough and leaving Sash. It's a monumental ep in showing Sasha that her actions have consequences. Now let's talk about the third temple. This episode is interesting because while Sasha is being deceitful here, she does display genuine character growth in this episode. She acknowledges that she's been pushing Anne around her whole life, and I very much believe that apology was sincere. Sasha questions how Anne can believe in her after she was such a jerk, and even after telling Grime that it was an act, the episode ends with a remorseful look on her face.
Well, I'm gonna walk away before things get more awkward.
Not possible.
The dinner and battle of the bands sow the seeds of Sasha's redemption even further. At the end of the dinner, Sasha states that she doesn't know if she can change, and that she likes who she is. What I got from this is that she wants to change, but that she's afraid of it. Again, Sasha's story is about refusal to change, as Amphibia is a show focused on self-improvement. What she doesn't realise, however, is that she's already started to change. In Battle of the Bands, Sasha finally learns that she doesn't always need to be in control. Toadie convinces her that sometimes supporting someone you love is more important than achieving your goals, and despite not winning Battle of the Bands, she says it was actually worth it for the fun they had. This is the episode where she unlearns her desire to control people, and it's why she feels so unfulfilled when she finally gets what she wants in true colours. But the fact that she still doesn't want to change means she still needs to learn her actions have consequences.
Now look what you've made me do.
True Colours kicks off right away with Sasha and Grime overthrowing Andrias. Right after, Anne finally tells Sasha that she's a horrible person and that she doesn't want to be friends with her anymore. Sasha's finally forced to reflect upon her actions. And although she does have Anne and the others taken away, she does start to reflect on what she's done. She wonders if Anne was right and if she really is a horrible person. And she even goes on to say that she doesn't know what she wants anymore. While she does eventually snap out of her funk, the episode piles on the consequences. All of the terrible things she's done so far catches up with her in the worst possible way. Because of her track record of lying and deceit, Anne understandably doesn't believe her when she says Andrias is evil. Indirectly, it's Sasha who lets Andrias get the box and gets Marcy stabbed, which Grime acknowledges in the next episode. Finally, we have Turning Point. Turning Point works so well because it's a culmination of all of the positive character development Sasha has been through during her villain arc.
Well, that ends now. I want to be someone better.
She learned how to be a good friend through her time with Grime. She learned that she doesn't always have to be in control in Battle of the Bands. And in True Colours, she finally learned that her actions have consequences, all before starting her redemption arc. Everything was established early on and built up meticulously throughout the series, which is why her resolution here feels incredibly natural and earned. Like this video if you enjoyed it, subscribe for more Amphibia theories and analyses, and don't forget to check out my Discord, Twitter and Patreon. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.